Okay guys, it's a little bit more film here real quick. We got a bunch of grapes out here. We don't have a lot in the hopper right now. We got this big old fat hose going in here. And look at this. There it goes. Down in there. Look at that stuff. Beautiful, huh? Okay, so as promised, here's my little video review of the WE286 destemmer with must pump from MoreWIne. I must say I love this machine. Of all of the machines that we bought, this was one of those that did everything that was expected of it and even more. Which is interesting because that was not anticipated. So let's look at it a little bit closer. It's a simple setup. There's a screw feed down in here in a hopper, and you put your grapes in there. When you're ready, you hit the button here, and green is for go, red is for stop. This is a lockout, so you have to set this in order to be able to make it go. It has an emergency stop as well. So if this is not out, no matter how much you hit the green, it won't roll. The machine is fairly lightweight when you consider what a big monster it is. You can pick it up and wheel it around quite handily. Not too bad to clean. You know, it's hinged so it separates in the middle. This little doohickey here, let me see if I can show you this. It's just a, make sure if you buy one of these, make sure you get that piece because mine didn't come with it. But that's what goes here on the end, which is the business end of the machine where all the grape must comes out. I just use this rubber thing to keep it protected so I don't bang into it. The machine is extremely fast. You can easily keep up with 4 people dumping 36-pound boxes of grapes into it, and it doesn't miss a step. In the entire time we used it, almost 6,000 pounds of grapes. It destemmed every single one of them. Not a single piece of stems found its way into the tanks. It didn't get stuck one time and had no problem pumping as far out as 25 feet and then up an additional 5 feet and over into a tank. There's a little screw on the side here. Let me see if I can show you. Right there. And if we just take this off, the machine opens up quite easily. So it's a little easier to do when you have 2 hands, but see, it opens up. So now there it is, opened. We haven't been able to get the yucks off of the paddles yet. We'll do that when I get my pressure washer down here. We're going to do that sometime before we put this machine away. We're building a small shed to put these machines, so that it'll all get pressure washed when we're done. And so the grapes fall into here, and there's another screw feed down just below it. So there's this here, and there's an additional screw feed below this. And that's how it gets destemmed, and out it comes out here. Now, when we got this machine, and we were, planning to use it, I was talking to Bob at M&M, and they have a similar machine, and they were having all kinds of problems. The machine would get stuck all the time with the stems and not go, and it wouldn't pump up, and he was quite concerned that this machine might not do what was advertised. So 3 times he told me, geez, I don't know that this is going to work, Paul. We may have to end up carrying the grapes around. All 3 times I called down to MoreWIne, and they said, no, this machine will pump with no problem. So I was quite concerned in terms of the functionality of it when I bought it. As you can hear from this little clip of me just before the beginning of crush day. Now the problem is, Bob tells me that they've tested this destemmer and that it can't pump uphill very well. It is just possible that we won't be able to get it to pump up into the tanks. And if that's the case, then I'll have to move it up here on top of this ledge. And then we'll be pumping downhill, which will help. But let's see if it works. So as you can see, I was quite concerned, but it turned out that the concerns were not founded. The machine worked fantastically. We chose to really sort through our grapes and make sure that we put them in there cleanly without too much junk and leaves and stuff. But even so, we had at one point 4 or 5 guys throwing grapes in there, and the machine was much faster than we could possibly sort through the grapes. At the end, although I didn't get any film of it, there was a batch that we did by just having 4 guys in rotation throwing 36-pound boxes in there, and the machine was faster than they were. So no complaints there. But here's the thing. This is just a destemmer, no crusher. So how does it work? Well, that's the interesting part. It really gives you a beautiful balance between crushing and no crushing. Take a look at this next picture here. So as you can see from that picture, there's quite a percentage of whole berries in there. And that, by the way, is well into fermentation. In fact, I'm towards the end of fermentation. And you can see that even at that point of fermentation, there was still a lot of whole berries in there. So I think the machine did quite well. The way it works is, we go into the business end here. Let me just close this for you guys. We go into the business end of the machine here. So these rollers feed the grapes down there, and then as it goes through the destemmer, you get a certain amount of crush. Then as it comes out through the must pump and goes down that 2.5-inch hose, which creates quite a bit of back pressure, that's when you get that gentle crushing. And about 15% or so, maybe sometimes 20%, depending on how you do it, of your grapes end up whole berries in your fermenter. If you want more, you can just choke down on the hose. But again, look at this picture. I mean, I'm actually holding up a grape, and this is just before we were a couple of days within pressing this wine. So take a look at this picture. So, just look at this machine in action. See, that's just beautiful, okay? Never once did this thing hesitate. Now, it's expensive, $2,000 or so. It's not for everyone. But if you can find one, if you can afford one, or if you can buy one together with a friend, or if you can find a refurbished one, boy, is this thing easy to operate, does the job. It's just a sweetheart of a machine. Of all the stuff I got, this is one of the ones I like the most. So I know my filmmaking isn't that good, but I would highly recommend this machine. Oh, by the way, it uses standard 220 power, so you don't need converters or any expensive equipment to run it. Just plug it into your 220 outlet and off it goes. It's so powerful that no matter how much stuff you put in here, you can't slow this machine down. WE286 destemmer with must pump from MoreWIne. I must say I love this machine. Of all of the machines that we bought, this was one of those that did everything that was expected of it and even more. Cheers for now.